Hello there guys, and welcome back to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. So today I'm going to be taking you through the Series 4 summer or wet season in Horizon 5, giving you a few tunes to help you complete this week's challenges, and just give you a few general tips on how to complete this week's playlist to get the new cars that are coming this week. So this week, for 25 points, we have the NIO EP9. That's the first of 3 or 4 Chinese cars that are going to be coming over the course of Series 4. Really cool hypercar, Chinese hypercar. I've never driven it for myself yet because I haven't unlocked it, but from what I've seen, it's a bit of a balanced car. It can be good and bad, so we'll see for ourselves when we unlock it. For 40 points, we can get the Hoonicorn V2, and then in the car pass, we have this, the 2010 Porsche 911 Sport Classic. Now I'll be unlocking both of these cars. I've already redeemed the Porsche here in the car pass, and I'll probably do a video either on both of these cars or a video separately on these cars at some point during this week, but I can't guarantee it. It all depends on what time I get, because there's a few things going on at the moment. I would also like to point out though that where it says here the 2021 Volkswagen Golf R, well, it's impossible for it to be a 2021 Golf R if it's the Mark 7.5, because the Mark 8 was introduced in 2020, so I think the devs have kind of got that a bit wrong there, but we'll come back to that when we actually get to it. Okay, so first of all, you may be wondering, Shylo, why is there only 54 points in this season and not 65 or 68, which has been in Series 3 and since the start of the game? Well, it's an interesting question that actually, and it's something that I asked myself when I first saw this season, either for myself on Thursday and also on other people's channels as well. And well, I don't really know why they've done it, but they've essentially removed the arcade. They've added in the Showcase remix that's come back from Horizon 4. They've removed all 3 stunts, tour, the collectibles, although that might return at some point, the Eliminator and the Horizon Open. So we've now only got 54 points. And that is not just for this season, because next week we also have 54 points, the following season we also have 54 points, and in spring we have 57 points. So yeah, I mean, yes, it does mean that unlocking the new cars is a bit quicker. They're not at 45 points, which they were a lot in Series 2 and 3. They're at 25 points for the most part, as you can see here. All of the 25 points cars in this series are new. But yeah, it kind of, well, yes, it reduces the amount of time you have to spend in the festival playlist, but it reduces the amount of rewards you get. And me personally, I found the easiest way to get 45 points was literally to do like the arcades, the stunts, and quite a lot of the things that have been removed actually, but I'm not going to complain about it because I'm sure that it will turn in Series 5. And yesterday as well I saw Jake XVX's video on some more leaked cars that we may be seeing in the next update, some new Audis, BMW M8, etc. So yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, and it's all kind of down to, I think one of the main reasons is this Horizon World Cup theme. So if you haven't heard anything about this yet, the whole of Series 4 is kind of a Forza Horizon World Cup, if you get what I mean. And if we click on here where it says select for more information, it's essentially what you have to do is, for each of the championships, trial and games in each of the festival playlists of this series, there will be only 6 cars available, or at least that's what it is this season. It might change next season, but currently this season, for each of the championships, trial and games, you can only take one of 6 cars. There is one car, from one of each of the countries that is taking part. So you can see here that these 6 cars that are on the picture here, they are all to their corresponding countries. Bugatti is France, Nissan is Japan, Aston Martin is Britain, Shelby is America, Lamborghini is Italy, and Mercedes is Germany. And essentially for each of the championships, trial and games this season, there is one car from each of them 6 countries that you're allowed to take for the championship, and by doing so you will be giving that country a point or a couple of points, however many points you get. And essentially after these 4 weeks, the country with the most amount of uses in the festival playlist of their cars that they make will receive a prize, and each person from that country will receive a prize. So for example, I'm from the UK, so I would receive, if the UK won, I would receive a prize, if you get what I mean. I think that's how it works anyway. And as it says here, keep an eye on the social media to see the progress and watch out for the reward at the end of it. I'm not sure whether they're going to give a reward at the end of each week or just at the end of the series. I don't actually know. But what I can say is the UK is probably not going to win, because theoretically, who really drives UK cars that much apart from in the festival playlist? And yes, obviously we are in the festival playlist, however, quite a lot of the UK cars are just a tad slower than that of, say, the Germans. So yeah, when I've been tuning, I've just picked any car that I think is either the cheapest, has the best ability to upgrade, or is my favourite car, because that's essentially what it's all about, is taking your favourite car in the championships of the ones that are available, obviously, and then completing them. So this week we have C class for each of them. However, next week maybe, or well I'm hoping it might be all B class, then winter will be A class, and spring will be S1 class. Or they might do it in a different order, but I'm hoping we're not going to have C class for 4 weeks, because as much as I like slow racing every now and again, for 4 weeks on the run, no thanks. But yeah, so that's essentially how it works. So by racing a car from a certain country, you are giving that country points towards this World Cup. So you're not really racing against each other, it's not like a full try-hard competition, so it allows everybody to be involved. And obviously some countries' cars are just generally more popular. People like JDM, people like German, etc. People like Lamborghinis from Italy, people like muscle cars. I'm just saying, who drives French cars and who drives British cars? I'm just saying, not really many people, is it? But you know, it's just a bit of a competition, a bit of an interesting one, and by completing this you will give points to that country. So that's essentially what it's all about. I just thought I'd give a little bit of an explanation beforehand, just so I'm not receiving loads of comments, questions in the comment section about why it's like that. I thought I'd explain it actually on the video, because it's harder to explain it typing, if you get what I mean. So that was the idea there. And the series rewards, because there's less points this season, for 100 points you get the Celine S7, but instead of for 200, for 160 you get the Koenigsegg Jesko. I don't actually own that car yet, because, well, I don't know why I don't own it, but yeah, so I'm probably just going to end up, unless I win it in a wheel spin before then, I'm just going to wait until winter or spring to be able to unlock the Jesko. But without any further ado though, let's get into this season. I'm going to give you a few tunes, well, one tune for each championships, trial and games, and just kind of tell you what you need to do to complete each of these challenges to get you 25 points for the NIO and 40 for the Hoonicorn. Okay, so starting off with the weekly Forzathon challenge then, triathlon of racing. So chapter 1, you need to choose sides. Own and drive any car from the following countries: France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK or USA to show your support. So just literally pick your favourite car from any of them countries. It doesn't need to be in a specific class. It can be D class, it can be X class. Just pick any car from each of them 6 countries. I've gone with the R35 GTR Black Edition from 2012, just because I really like this car. I've driven it in real life, and I thought it'd be really good to complete this weekly challenge. So once you've got in your car, you can move on to chapter 2. And this is stage 1, road racing. So for this one, all you need to do is win a road circuit race with your chosen car. So whichever car you picked for chapter 1, take that to a road circuit race. So for example, Horizon Mexico circuit, Tierra Prospera, Arch of Moulege, etc. Just take it to any of them circuits. You can even filter it to 1 lap if you want to make it quicker in the event labs section instead of 3 laps, or you can just do 3 laps to enjoy your car. And once you've done that, you'll be able to move on to chapter 3, which is stage 2, dirt racing. So once you've done your road race, you then need to fit your car with off-road race tyres. You don't have to, but you know. and you need to win a dirt scramble race event in your chosen car. So the dirt scrambles, the orange ones, but they are the circuits. The trails are the sprints and the scrambles are the circuits. So you just need to win a dirt circuit in your chosen car. So I have created 2 tunes for the GTR. One is road and one is dirt. I'll show you them after we've gone through all the chapters, just to make your life a bit easier so that you're not running slick tyres and rear suspension while you're dirt racing. And it'll also help when it comes to chapter 4. So once you've won your dirt scramble, it's time to go to stage 3, cross country, and win any cross country race event. Now it does say any, it doesn't specify whether it needs to be a sprint or a circuit. However, if I was you, the quickest way is to either do 1 lap of a circuit by blueprinting it or doing a sprint, but it's completely up to you. Again, if you're using my GTR tune, I'd recommend using the off-road one because it's on off-road race tyres, and it's going to be a lot easier to drive than the road tune. And once you've done all 4 of these chapters in any of the cars, it doesn't have to be my GTR, from them 6 countries, you'll get 80 or 160 Forzathon points depending if you own the La Casa Salgueira, I've now pronounced that wrong again, house, and you'll get 5 points towards the summer season. So I'll quickly show you my tunes now. Okay, so the Forzathon road then one, I don't know why I'm speaking like that. Why did I just say that like that? Anyway, the road tune for my GTR is called #Forzathon Road. You can find that by my game tag Shylo 2017. It has 658 horsepower, slick tyres. It's got the awesome body kit on it. I can't remember who it's from, so I'm not going to slip up by saying the wrong manufacturer. We've got all-wheel drive, rear suspension, etc, etc. You get the gist. Just a really nice kind of build that's well balanced, quite fast, but also not ridiculously ugly with the Forza aero, because it's got the awesome aero from whatever manufacturer it is. Again, I'm not going to say. And then the dirt/cross country one is called #Forzathon CC, which stands for cross country. This one's on off-road race tyres, rally suspension, all-wheel drive. It's got 955 horsepower. It goes a bit faster actually. And it's got no rear wing at all, so it's a bit interesting to control, but it is very fast and you'll have a lot of fun whipping that round dirt and cross country. So if you are using my GTR, they are the 2 tunes you want to use. These ones are just the same, they're just called World Cup Japan, just so people know what they're about. I have also, something that I haven't really done much in the past, made designs for each of the cars I'm going to be using in this festival playlist. Because it's World Cup, I thought I'd be a bit abstract, so I've gone ahead and for each of the cars that I'm going to be using this season, I've made their corresponding countries' flags by myself, and then I've applied them to the car as so here. So we've got like this is a Japan one. JPN is usually the letters that they use in like the Olympics or Football World Cup, etc. And then, as you can see, this one's one of the more basic ones. The Germany ones are a bit more advanced. So for any of the cars you're going to be seeing in this video, apart from the one we're going to be using for the event lab and for the photo challenge, I've created a design for them and they're all shared. So if you want to go and check them out, then you can. It doesn't take me too long, about 2 or 3 hours overall to create the logos and then apply them to each of the 5 cars. But it's been a bit of fun. I'll probably do it more in the future as well, because I mean, I'm not a designer, but it's been okay. So let's move on to the trial then. I would just like to say as well, before we move on to the trial, if there's been one benefit from this short festival playlist, it hopefully means my videos are not going to be half an hour long. So I'll try not to jinx myself, but we can get it in under 20 minutes. I'll be quite impressed considering I had 5 or 10 minutes of explanation at the start. So the trial then, we win a Lamborghini Miura and 10 points towards the season. So if you have the Hall of Fame or one of your friends has that you can convoy with to complete the trial, I'd recommend doing so because it gets you nearly 50% of the points you need for the NIO just by completing 2 or 3 races. So for this one, it's street racing and it's country rivals, so you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So if I go into eligible cars, like I said earlier at the start of the video, there's only 6 cars per championship that you're able to use. So for Germany we've got the M3, USA we've got the Mustang, Italy we've got the LM002, Japan we've got the Eclipse, France we've got the Clio, and Britain we've got a Corsa. Typical British car there. So yeah. For this one, I picked the 1991 BMW M3. I've kept it rear wheel drive purely because if you made it all wheel drive, it'd take up loads of PI and you'd have no room for any other upgrades, plus the top speed would be like 2 miles an hour. So I'll show you my tune for that now. So that's the car I'm going to be taking for this one. Do note as well, for the trial you're in a co-op team, so try not to ram your teammates. By all means ram the AI, but because they're unbeatable, they are a bit aggressive. But don't ram your teammates, just try and play clean, and if you win the first 2 races you won't have to do the third. Anyway, so my tune then is called World Cup German, purely because I couldn't fit the Y on the end, but it still makes sense. So it's got the same amount of horsepower, stock tyres, street suspension, rear wheel drive, all of that's the same, but there has been a few upgrades like brakes to make it a bit better, just so it's a bit easier to drive, so that's that one. And rear wheel drive, I've tested it quite a few times. It's very hard to spin out because it's only got 200 horsepower, and on launch, if you're in manual, you can shift early to reduce the wheel spin, but it really isn't that bad. Trust me, I've tested it quite a few times. It's actually okay. So that's that one then. Okay, so now for the event lab. For this one you can already see I've completed it. However, for this one you win the 1995 Corvette ZR1, and it's made by this guy called X Dead Zeppelin that has been picked by Playground Games. He doesn't work for Playground Games as far as I know, but his kind of Temple of Doom circuit has been picked. It's at the Teo Thickerwin. I know I'm really messed up on that pronunciation. I do apologise to the Mexicans. Anyway, the drag strip with all the temples on it, it's there. You just got to drive around. It's really not that hard. It took me 2 or 3 minutes. I accidentally picked a stock Mitsubishi instead of my tuned one. I misclicked when I was picking my car, but it wasn't too bad. Only took me 2 or 3 minutes. It was actually really creative. Props to the guy that made it, because obviously the update now allows you to save and edit, but this one will have been made before that, so props to him for doing it all in one. Really cool there. So for this one you need a B-class modern rally. It's the only thing above C-class in this festival playlist apart from the Forzathon, so thank God for that. And the car I've picked is a 2004 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution MR number 8, I think. So I'll show you that one now. Depending on how long you've been watching the channel, if you've been watching all those videos I've posted, you've probably seen this car and tune before, because I used it for a seasonal jump a few weeks ago, just before Christmas I think. So it's got 300 horsepower, it's on off-road race tyres. That was just so we had as much PI as possible. It's got no rear wing, but you don't really need a tune for this one. If you want it, it's called Seasonal Jump by my gamer tag Shylo 2017. Okay, so next to Showcase Remix opening ceremony, you get an announcer countdown car horn for this one, plus 5 points. Essentially you don't need a car tune for this one because it automatically puts you in that Can-Am Maverick that you can see there, and you're against the Hot Wheels monster trucks that you can see in the background. They do have a tendency to ram you off the road in any circumstance, whether they're in your way or not. Whether you're in their way or not, but yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. And having watched Stevie-O's stream the other day, he found that if you hadn't completed the normal showcase first, it wouldn't let you do it. So if that's the case for you, complete the normal showcase first, Buggy and the Beast, and then complete this one, if that makes sense. Now for the games then, ahead of the game, you will win the Land Rover Range Rover Velar plus 3 points. And for this one, it's Country Rivals C-Class. It says dirt racing, but that's just because you can use the same cars as the off-track championship. So the tune I'm about to show you now, you'll be able to use for the games and the off-track seasonal championship, so 2 in 1. And for the off-track seasonal championship, you will win yourself a Megane R26R. That was actually really good in Horizon 4, and I think it's quite good in Horizon 5 as well, so I'd recommend getting that one. Quite a nice car. So the restrictions for this one then. So you can either take the Alpine, the Ford Escort, the LMW 2, Mini Cooper, Nissan Pulsar or Golf GTI. I use the Golf GTI purely because it has the most room for upgrades, it's one of the cheapest, and I really like Golfs in any kind of state, really old or new, so I'll go and show you the tune for that one now. Okay, so again it's called World Cup German because I couldn't fit the Y on the end. It's got 250 horsepower, front wheel drive, stock tyres, etc, etc. Gamer tag Shylo 2017 as usual for that one. Okay, so we're already nearly at the end of the playlist actually, which is quite astonishing. So the next one is the Sky's the Limit Seasonal Championship, where you win yourself a 1993 Nissan GTR. And for this one, it's Country Rivals C-Class Road Racing for 5 points. So the cars you can take for this one then are the following. So we've got the Buick, the Jag E-Type, again the Lamborghini, because it's about the only car from Italy that's below C-Class. Mercedes 190e, Renault Clio and the Toyota GT86. For this one I picked the Jaguar E-Type to support my own country, but also it's a really legendary car, really famous in Britain, and I really like it. It is 150,000 credits, but hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a rip-off for you. So yeah, I'll show you the tune for this one now. Do remember as well that although I am giving you tunes to complete these championships, if you don't want to use that tune because you have another favourite car from the list, then feel free to just use that. You can either tune it yourself or find a tune for it, because this series is all about picking your favourite car and supporting your favourite car's country. So if you don't want to pick these cars, then that's completely up to you. But if you want some quick tunes that are going to be average at least to use, then just carry on watching and I'll show you them. So this one then, World Cup UK, is on vintage race tyres, just so we've got a bit more grip while saving as much PI as possible. And then we've got 320 horsepower. It's not that bad. I mean, it is rear wheel drive, so it slides around a bit more than it probably should in C-Class, but it is culpable, and I'm sure you'll be alright with this tune. So that is that one. Okay, so from one British car to another now, we're going to be heading on to the Land Rover Defender for the turbocharged seasonal championship, where you win yourself a 2019 Porsche Macan. So for this one we need C-Class cross country, and the car's eligible for this one. Have a guess what it's going to be for Italy. So we've got the Ford Bronco, Honda Civic, I don't know why they want to use that for cross country, LM002, Defender from 2020, Renault 5 and the VW Corrado. For this one I'm supporting my own country again by going for the Defender, and if you completed the treasure hunt last week you will already have this car, you'll just have to downgrade it to C-Class if you upgraded it. Okay, so we've got 550 horsepower, we're on stock tyres but we're on rally suspension, we've got a Forza wing on the back to help with the downforce, and that's about it really, all wheel drive. So World Cup UK is the name, created by me, Shylo 2017. Okay, so on to the last two items of this festival playlist then. Firstly, we have the photo challenge, #country sports. For this one, to get your braking shatter car horn and 2 points, all you need to do is photograph the 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Supersport at the Tierra Prospera Fields. Now we got gifted one of these, I think it was last week or the week before, with a special New Year livery on it. So if you haven't downloaded that, hop in your message centre and go and download it, and then you can use that one, so you don't actually have to buy it if you don't already own the car. I've created a Stunts build tune for you if you want to look good when you're taking your photo and maybe share it on social media. Then I've created a Stunts build for you for the Chevrolet Camaro, which can be found under my gamer tag Shylo 2017. I'll now go and show you where the location of these fields are. Okay, so if you filter to landmarks on your map, you'll be able to see that the Tierra Prospera Fields are here, just to the southeast of Guanajuato here, so kind of in between Guanajuato and the Eliminator. So if you drive or fast travel here, depending if you've got fast travel unlocked, you'll be able to go to these fields, take a picture of your Camaro either by yourself or with some friends, and then like I said, if you want to post it on social media, then feel free to do so. You could also send them to me to see what kind of, if you've got a funky photo that you think's unique, send it over to me on Xbox or Discord, and that'll be good. Okay, so finally then, if you want to have a taste of the NIO EP9 before you've even unlocked it, head over to the monthly Rivals by clicking on it in the festival playlist or in the Rivals tab. It'll take you to the Estadio circuit, which is the stadium, the circuit that goes around the stadium. You just need to post a clean lap in NIO. It'll already put you in the NIO, and you'll have it completed. A clean lap is basically no exclamation mark next to it. I can't speak today for some reason. So that means no hitting anything, no rewinding, and no missing checkpoints essentially. So if it doesn't have a flag next to it, it means it's clean. You don't have to beat your rival, just go around until you've got a clean lap, and that will have it completed. Do also note that this completes it for all 4 seasons, so you do not have to complete it this season. If you miss it, do not worry, because if you complete it next season, it'll add the points onto this season because it is a monthly thing. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate your support. Hopefully you have fun with this slightly shorter festival playlist, and because it's shorter, I'll be back next week with the same kind of guide. I'll pick one car from each of the championships, give you a tune so that you can get it completed. However, as always, as I mentioned before, if you do not want to use my tunes because you want to use a different car, because my tunes are rubbish, that's just up to you. But thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the NIO and the Porsche, and I'll be back next week unlocking the Wooling Sunshine, which I am really looking forward to. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye!